Once you're in Lucid Charts, click on blank to create a blank document, and you should get a screen. Just give it a second. There we go, with a sheet of paper sitting down here. There we go, with rulers at the top. Not really interested in any of these. The only thing that we are really bothered with are these symbols down here. Okay, and if I go over each one, it's telling you exactly what each one of these symbols does. So these are the flowchart symbols, not the ones at the bottom. They're just basic shapes. These are flowcharts. And if we go back to the computing, notice that we've only got 6 of them. So I'll take you through each one of those. So we've got a process, a square box. We shall learn what these do later. At the moment, I'm just pointing them out to you. We've got the decision box, which is a diamond shaped. We've got a terminator, which is a sort of rounded rectangle. We've got a subroutine, or a predefined process as this calls it, but that is actually called a subroutine. And there is one more, which is the input-output box, and if I go down from that, in this it's called data, but for our project work, this is going to be input or output. And you can see at the bottom of that box on the screen, it's got data IO standing for input output. And the last thing that was on there, so that's 5 symbols and the line which joins them together. And the whole purpose is that it flows in one direction and one direction only, from the top to the bottom. That will change when we have loops. It will keep going round in sort of a loop until a certain condition is met, but essentially we just follow the directions of the line. So let's start with our very first program, which is nothing at all. It is no program. And we need 2 terminators for that. So I've got one terminator and a second terminator. Terminator means end point, or the end of. And usually we call it start and end. In fact, pretty much every time we will use an end terminator to signify the end of our program or the end of a subroutine. Our main program will have start to begin with, but at some point we're going to learn about subroutines, predefined processes. And when we use those, we will use or change the name here. So start will probably not be start, it will be the name of something else like get file, get user, but we will always have end. So there's our first sort of design for a program. And if I get the line, click on the line, find, if you notice a little red dot moving along, which when I click, that's where it will take the line from. Really, you should just take it from the center, click, okay, and go to the next one down and click, but you will need to drag the line from top to bottom. So there's our first flowchart. And if you want to put that into your document, then really you would need the snipping tool, which I've got on the bottom, to cut it out and paste it into your document. We can't really save or download these easy. It's a free version, so if you want pictures of what you're doing, you'll probably just need to use the snipping tool. There is also a grid. You may have a grid of lines, which I don't. You can turn the grid off. I'm not sure where that is, but there'll be some menu option along here. There we go. Show rulers, grid, show grid, snap to grid. We can change how we see the grid. Mine is set to off, and the snap to grid just makes it nice and easy, so that when you're sort of dragging a line, it snaps. Okay, if you can see that, it's just snapping. So there's our first flowchart. Have a go yourself, create that one, cut it out, and paste it into a new page for today's lesson in Office 365.